Welcome to Thoughts in a Glass podcast. I'm LaToya.
And I'm Kendra.
And this is a weekly podcast where we share our unfiltered thoughts and opinions on a variety of topics.
So sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink, and join us on a journey of real, raw, and ridiculously funny commentary.
Period. Every week we do a drink of the night. So, Kendra, what's the drink tonight?
So tonight's drink is called a Fruit Tequila Punch.
Tropical
fruit, because tropical. Tequila punch. Excuse me. All right, so it takes so I doubled it. So if you're doing for a single, it's going to be 1.5 ounces of your, what was the coconut tequila. Then you'll do an ounce of pineapple juice, half an ounce of lime juice. Shake that up in your shaker. Put it over ice. Top with fruit punch, and garnish with a cherry and a pineapple. Thank you. Lost track. Sitting there looking at it. I'm like, what is that thing called? Give me island vibes.
That's good. Well, I mean, you know.
But this is a sneaky little thing.
I was just getting ready to say, it's good, but it's just like juice with a little bit of tequila in it. But then I was sitting here thinking like, yeah, but you don't taste it. So you end
don't
up,
be a hot day and you just want something to drink.
Yeah, you end up on your ass with this one.
Immediately.
So we're in April, which is crazy.
Oh my gosh.
And today, if I'm not mistaken, let me make sure I'm getting my facts right. Yes. Today, so April 2nd is World Autism Awareness Day, or Autism Acceptance.
Don't do the DEI.
Well, so I don't know. Y'all tell me if y'all know why they changed it from awareness to acceptance. But I feel like maybe the Autism Association said that everybody's aware.
Right.
Now y'all need to start accepting. So it is Autism Acceptance. And they have a theme. And their theme this year is advancing neurodiversity and the unsustainable development of goals. I don't like. That's an interesting theme for this year. The unsustainable development of goals. I don't know.
I would need them to elaborate a little bit on that.
Well, I guess if you have some type of autism, or if you're on the spectrum, that I guess that does make sense, because it's for people that are what am I trying to say? I don't want to use words that are not good to use anymore. I'm trying to be politically correct. But I guess if you are what they would call normal, you know what I mean? And you don't have challenges.
You have the developmental goals that you're supposed to meet.
And you meet them.
Yes.
And so I guess what they're saying is it's time to start accepting that not everybody does that, or that's not attainable for everybody.
Gotcha.
So if he's still wearing a diaper at 10, maybe being potty trained is not a sustainable goal for this person, and it's not to judge them because of that, I guess.
Okay.
That's just how I would.
What I think that's a part of, if they're changing their name of acceptance, I could see why that would be maybe the theme for this year, because it all kind of correlates together.
Yeah. I do think though, I mean, and I guess this is the point. Some things, depending on the brain of the person, some things are just never going to get there. And you can try, but you also have to be okay with the fact that they may not ever get there. Because I think there is this side of us that's like, well, if you work with them and if you do this and you do that, you got to train that child. You have to do, but everything, I think this is where we get sometimes. We get to a point where we feel like anything and everything can be taught or can be trained.
Right.
And I think for a lot of things that's true, but for some things, it's not true. Like if I'm literally having a problem retaining information, yeah, I may be able to do a really complex math problem, but I do forget to how to use the bathroom. You know what I mean? Like, just the brain is really intricate like that, and so I could see people being frustrated when they live in a world where in their mind things just don't happen linear, and like you aren't able to constantly build on concepts, and then you have the outside world that's judging you because of that. So that's that. We got a lot of catching up to do.
Catching up indeed.
So what have you been up to? How was your week?
So it was good. It's been busy. My chief of staff was on vacation, so I kind of fall into her spot. So including doing my own stuff. So other than that, I mean, it wasn't really much going on. Yeah, that was really like it. I mean, luckily we cooked dinner on Thursday. On Sunday. So we're trying to be better at like cooking early. And then we had, for last week we had leftovers from
the birthday party.
So we were good with that. So that's really been it. We went to over the weekend. We went to the Adventurers and Travelers show in DC. Well, you know, they try to sell you all the things. Like, oh, for 4 people, you could do the land and the sea.
So wait, tell me about that, because I don't know why I was thinking it was like a event planning.
No, this was like Norwegian was there, so they like giving you discounts.
It's for okay. I was thinking it's for people that plan vacations for other people.
They were there as well. There were travel agents there, but
it's for people that like to travel, and they offer you discounts and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then they talk about like there's like you get people's cars that do safaris or things like that. So you had Sandals was there. Sandals and Beaches was there. Safaris to all of the countries in Africa. What else? I mean, seminars, TED Talks. It was interesting. It was a lot of walking. They had an RV there for this group that does RV. So a lot of it was people that you could reach out to plan
stuff. It.
But then other folks are like, oh, this is what, here you can do this. Atlantic City was there. Like people from Atlantic City was there. So they had like maps of Atlantic City, what you could do in Atlantic City. Like now it's more family friendly. And they have some of the hotels and casinos. Now it's just like a regular hotel. I can't think of the name of it, but it's a regular hotel now. But at the bottom floor where they used to have the gaming room, it's the biggest arcade in North America.
Oh, so they took out the casino and made it an arcade. I low-key, though, be feeling like arcades is just casinos for kids.
Yes. Yes. Or of course, I'll say casinos for all ages.
Okay, for all ages.
There would be grown folks be ready to go.
It's like the same thing. You just don't gamble with money.
Correct. You just lose it.
Yeah.
And get prizes.
Well, damn, no, it's still money.
Yes.
Because you got to pay to play and then you get the tickets.
Yes.
That's wild.
But yeah, so my mother was like, we're going down the escalator. She's like, well, when I signed this up, like her stuff was like beaches and stuff, like going on vacation, like cruises and stuff like that. She's like, for you, I did honeymoon, destination wedding.
Oh, okay. She better speak it,
ma'am.
You heard that,
ma'am? So
she said, message somebody.
Clear message. So yeah, so that was really it. So we had a good time, and then on Sunday when we he went. So I was able to sleep in. He took my car to get washed because it had been a minute for it to get washed. And then I cooked dinner. This week we're having we've had and are continuing to have steak salads, and what did I have yesterday? I put chicken in a crock pot. I'm trying to get like my crock pot stuff down so that we can have like more of a variety. So just chicken and rice with some steamed broccoli. So just trying to do that. But I'm like, why every time the weekend rolls around, because I like to wash my clothes before I leave.
Yeah.
And then hang my stuff up. So, like, my stuff is like, if I'm over or, get off work, I just want to throw something on I can. Why is it that there's always laundry in the washer or the dryer? And so I was like, the washer and the dryer. And so I'm like, I don't want to come over here doing manual labor. And so you out and about, dipping and doing, and I'm finishing up the laundry. I said, next time I'm bring my own damn clothes. Because I still got to go home and finish my stuff. Anyway, and then we talked about found out the price of the house that we're trying to build.
Okay.
So that's about it. Just family stuff. Nothing too crazy. What about you? How was your week?
My week was, I've been outside. I've been.
You've been dipping and doing outside, running.
Right on out there. So 2 weeks ago, actually, we had a couple of deaths in the family. My uncle passed away, and then like a week later, my cousin passed away. So last week, Wednesday, we had my uncle's funeral, and then not today, but next Wednesday, we have my cousin's funeral. So, it was kind of crazy, but at the same time, it's like, what are you gonna do, right? You got to deal with it. So, I hate the fact that too. Well, I don't say hate, that's a strong word, but I don't love the fact that that's really the only time that like family can come together. And it's so sad because it's like, we try to do stuff all year, like different people are doing stuff, cookouts, things like that. And you have these little beefs within the family. I don't talk to such and such. I don't talk to so and so, so I'm not going. And then somebody dies, and like, of course, we put all that aside, and everybody shows up. And what I noticed at my uncle's funeral was everybody showed up, and while different people may have had their little issues, we were all still able to, come together and have a pretty decent time. I don't know if maybe it's because there's grief, so you don't really have time to have an attitude, or it's like, I'm sad, so I'm not really thinking about something crazy that you had done. But I wish that it wasn't like that. And one of my older aunts, so like one of our like oldest family members is actually my grandmother's aunt. So she's my great aunt. Yeah, that would be my great grandmother's sister. So she's my great aunt. And she had made mention of like every year she always tries to do something like big, or like she's always wanted to try to do something big with the family, but whenever she gets to planning it, it's like, oh, well, so-and-so say they ain't gonna come because they don't like this person or that person or whatever the case. And I feel like we probably should do that soon, because we don't know how long she gonna last. You know what I mean? So I told my families, because it was a bunch of us that were like, yeah, we should do something. So I told them, I said, this is what I'll do. I'll start a Facebook group and invite everybody that's in the family. I will put them in the Facebook group or invite them. We're going to give it about a month. I'll see. So this was at my uncle's funeral. So I was like, I'll probably see all y'all again at my cousin's funeral. I'll give you an update on where we are. If after that, I don't really get any like people joining or people contributing saying that they want to like do this thing, I feel like I did my part. You know what I mean? And then I had some cousins that's like, well, I'm not on social media. And I said, well, that's fine, but we do need a space where we can, like, I'm not about to do a group chat. Y'all don't check y'all email. So I know not everybody's on Facebook, but you may not be on Facebook, but your mom is, or your sister is, or your brother is. So somebody can get you that information. But I was telling them, we have to have a space where we can all be able to communicate and like organize and get on the same page. So hopefully we can get it together. I am not really optimistic. But I am, but I'm not. It's like I am, because I do want that to happen. But at the same time, I'm just like, I know my family, and even though we're actually very close, but we're very like cliquish too. Like, it's weird. But so I did that. But then this weekend I was outside. So Friday I was running errands. Saturday I ended up going to a barbecue, which I had such a good time. I really had a good time. And I was telling, so this barbecue, this is an old coworker of mine. He was gathering up everybody that like we used to work with and people that we used to like hang out with. We would do like these after work happy hours, and so now we've all gone to different jobs, and so we don't do it as much, or we haven't done it. So he was like, his parents have a farm, so he was like, I can, we could all just go to the farm and like hang out. So he bought a pig. He smoked a whole pig, and he was like, "I'll get the pig. Y'all get the sides and the beer and the drinks or whatever, and like we can hang out there." So needless to say, it's a lot of it's mostly Caucasians, of the Caucasian descent, which is fine. I as much as we have our little commentary, at the end of the day, in the DMV in the DC area, they're, especially when it comes to like work environments, they're very mixed. So I feel like I don't have a problem being in mixed company, but they do things a little different. I was telling my brother, like, I don't know if I've ever been to like a pig roast where it was like black people doing the pig roast. I know we do that, but I don't think I've ever, like, maybe that's like a down south thing.
Yeah, when we went to South Carolina last year for Davon's family reunion, they were roasting a pig.
Yeah, but it was fun. I had a good time. The property was really beautiful. I didn't feel unsafe, even though my sister was checking on me like, here you go again.
Out in the boonies.
Right. It would have a whole bunch of them. She was like, I don't need to see you on the news.
Right.
I'm like, I'm good. I had Tiffany with me. This group is the office that I met her at. So they're former co-workers of hers as well. We just had a really good time talking, relaxing. They had a fire pit out there. We were chilling by the fire pit. The food was good. So y'all already know how I do, like, when it's like a potluck thing, and even outside of work, especially with them. Once the food was like, once he took the pig off the smoker, and they broke the meat down. And they all had on gloves when they broke the meat down. And mind you, we're in a barn, so I'm already like, let me hurry up and make my plate before anything. Yeah. So we stood there while they were breaking it up, and as soon as Luke was like, all right, y'all can go ahead, I was ready with my plate. Because let me get in here before y'all, because
y'all touching.
And they couldn't wait to just put their little hands in there and just get the meat like that. I was like, no, let me get some tongs. And let me get my meat, and let me go ahead and step off to the side. And y'all can do what y'all want to do. But, and I was so glad that, I mean, I don't know what I would have done if they didn't put them gloves on when they went to like break the pig up. I honestly don't know what I would have done, but they did. And I was so thankful. And they had hand sanitizer out there. And he had like a little bar in the barn, but the sink wasn't working. So he did have hand sanitizer out there. But I don't know. Y'all know how they be. So I had to go ahead and get my food first. I made baked beans. Everybody loved it. With my baked beans, my secret ingredient, which is really not a secret, is I'll add Jack Daniels. Especially if it's like adults, even if it's kids too, I'll do it, because it's not, you can't, the alcohol gets cooked off, but the flavor is there. Yeah. They love the beans, but then Tiffany was like, they was gonna love anything we bring. Like at the end of the day,
the day gonna end.
So that was fun. I had a really good time, and I was telling Sydney and Chris this. I was like, I should have brought y'all. I didn't, because, and I told them this, I said I didn't bring y'all because when I ask y'all to do stuff, I feel like a lot of times it's an automatic no, especially if it's outside of your comfort zone. But I told them we need to start getting outside of our comfort zone, because that's how you get exposed to different things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that goes for me too. I know I be outside a lot doing my own thing, but I'm kind of, like, I do the things that I like to do. But maybe if I went with Chris to like one of his cons, or went with Sydney to like a science and tech thing conference or something, that could expand my, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I go to the con, but my brother be the one to go to the science and tech, child.
But
no, they be having some fun.
They do be having some fun stuff, and I just feel like it's about exposure, right?
Yeah.
You don't know about things until you go and do it and try it. And
I tell you what, they be talking, I'll be like, where'd that word go?
but the thing is, at least if somebody said something to you about it, you could be like, oh,
I heard about
I've been
that.
there.
Yeah.
I know what that is or whatever. So
That's
for
true.
me, that's kind of what it's about. For me, as I'm getting older, I feel like I still find value in that. And for them, because they're younger, I think, and I told them this, I think it would positively impact their life if they start getting other experiences. So speaking of other experiences, Chris was at a con, and so he calls me, and I didn't answer the phone. But when he called me, I was in the shower. So I called him right back. I'm like, hey, what's up? He was like, you ain't gonna believe what just happened. I'm like, what? So he's like, I'm at the con, right? And he was like, I see an actor that I think you like. He was like, you know that show you like, Ghost? I'm like, yeah. He was like, so the guy, the husband, Jay, he's there. And don't ask me to pronounce his real name because he has an Indian name that I can't pronounce.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, that's dope. He was like, he was signing autographs. So I went and got you an autograph. I was like, oh, thanks. So he was like, but he was like, when I got there, I was like, oh, my sister loves the show. You know, she thinks it's funny. She watches it all the time. She watched the UK version and the US version. So he was like, oh, that's great. That's great. So Chris pulls up a picture of me and shows him a picture. And he's like, oh, that's your sister? She's beautiful. Give her a call. I said, not give her a call. Excuse me? I wasn't even there this time. So, of course, I didn't answer. Yeah. So, I'm talking to Chris. He's recapping what happened. He was like, but I got you the autograph. And Chris said, I was just in shock. I was just laughing. He was like, I couldn't believe. He's like, I didn't think he was going to go that direction. Yeah. But he was like, yeah, it's your sister. Why she didn't come with you? I said, Jess. What in the world? Jess. And don't this man got a white wife? But so I get the autograph, right? And so y'all tell me, because he signs it to LaToya Boo.
Was it LaToya Boo because of Ghost?
And that's what I asked Chris. I said, now, is he being funny because the show is Ghost? But with the backstory, it also is like, is it a double entendre?
It might be a double entendre. I like a double entendre.
I said, not. I'll try to take a picture of this and put it in there so y'all can see, because I don't think y'all can see it from here. But I thought that was so funny. I thought that was hilarious. I looked him up, y'all. Not him being a rapper.
Oh, God.
When you look him up on Google, it says actor, comedian, and rapper. That's funny. And then when I looked up on sound on YouTube to see, I just wanted to hear what it sounded like. He actually got a nice singing voice. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, that was my weekend. When I tell you I was gagged.
You were gagged. I could believe it.
You
still gagged.
I'm in shock. Sir, oh my gosh. So anyway, that was my weekend recap. Nothing else much going on. I know you said you saw and I'm this person's probably old by now, but Jess Hilarious and Lauren Rosa going back and forth. Mm-hmm. And so
they made the boy his mind.
So my question to you and to y'all is, after everything, because she announced her podcast, Jess went on Club Shay Shay. Then they did the Boy's Mind thing.
She had already done Club Shay Shay before. Or is this her second time?
Well, it aired right after that argument.
No, unless she's gone, this is another time. Because a few months ago, she went on, because that's when Country Wayne kept saying.
That was Cam Newton's podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Club Shay Shay. I'm curious, do y'all think that little back and forth with them was a publicity stunt?
I don't think it was. I think part of it, I'll say this. Coming back to work, somebody's in your spot, but that was you were told wasn't going to be there when you got back. And then you're dealing with postpartum and all the other things. And it just sounds too familiar of what happened to Angela Yee. Mm-hmm. Angela Yee. That I think that they saw what the internet was saying and used this as an opportune time to continue to build on it.
Yeah.
Like was Kendrick and Drake's beef just for him to be able to go to the Super Bowl and stuff like that. I think that it happened, but then it was the time to continue on with it.
I asked that question because I know that Jess Hilarious is kind of for taking public controversy and basically making it bigger than what it is. Mm-hmm. With like getting the job, and it was all this talk about, oh, she acting like she got the job, she don't have the job, and like that was true, mm-hmm. but she basically made it like since y'all want to talk about that, I'm really going to drag it out. And so I feel
She's
that
made for the internet.
Yeah, I mean that's her
Yeah.
lane.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She understands how to manipulate,
yes.
and like capitalize on stuff. So I feel that she's a pretty decent actress. I'm not gonna say that the tears were fake, but I think that maybe the issue itself may have already been water under the bridge, but because it's buzzing on social media, does it make sense to now air it out in real time?
Yeah, I don't know, because I know she's been back for a minute, and a lot of stuff was, she kept saying, she kept seeing stuff on social media, and I don't know what was going on the background. And so, and maybe the frustration is y'all keep talking. I know what's happening. Like, I did have a conversation with her. I did do such and such, and y'all are trying to compare us when there's no comparison in what we're trying to do. So I think just at being still in a vulnerable space, being compared, and then all of your your colleagues, your coworkers are also in that internet space. They also in them comments, and nobody says anything, right? Like, nobody comes to my defense. Like, I can see how that could be irritating, unnerving, all of the above. To go to social media, and I don't know if she was necessarily going to have a conversation about Lauren specifically. I think it was just her feelings on how, like, DJ Envy and Charlamagne kind of operate and how they do stuff, especially like pinning these women against each other. Same thing with, they say, with Ace Metaphor with Kitty and all of them, feeling a certain kind of way. And I feel like sometimes, I mean, that happens so more often than not in the workforce, especially when you have two women and then there's a male. A lot of times they are acting as if they don't know what's going on, or they fan the flame to cause it to ignite even more. So it just be a thing. But now I be like, now that it's all come out, did we need The Job Is Mine? No.
But and so that's what I'm saying. Like that, I feel like stuff like that is Jess's kind of wheelhouse, where it's like, oh, there's controversy, let's turn it into content.
Yeah, I feel like after they talked it on the radio, I think all the way up until then, it was just like real feelings, right? Now we're going into the marketing part of it. And so to spin it, the spin, I mean, you're going to do that. Because you don't want to just leave it. Like, at that point, like, where do you leave it, right?
Yeah.
Because you left it as, okay, so one of y'all going to leave? Like, what is it left at? But going and continuing on, it's the same thing that happened with Brandy and Monica. It's like, y'all had a beef. She slapped you. Y'all did this, like, all of a sudden it's like, okay, we could be in the same space. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
I just thought it was interesting to see, like, in real time that happening, and then I had the thought of, like, is this really real?
I think it's real, but I think that they just continue to market off of it, and it just everything puts a spotlight. If you're not doing anything, it's no spotlight to be had.
True that.
So
you don't think it's a coincidence? I'm pretty sure Jess knew when that Club Shay Shay interview was going to air. I'm pretty sure Lauren knew when she was going to announce her podcast. You don't think it's a coincidence that all of this is happening and then they have these major things coming up?
I mean, I'm going to say maybe how it comes out. I don't think anything that was said and how things were done was fraudulent. I do think that I don't know. Because then my thing is, once you say that, then it's always going to be like, being women are just, you just doing this for attention kind of thing.
And I don't want to say that. I don't want to make that generalization. But I just think the timing of it seems very, it could just be a coincidence.
A lot of times the timing of stuff be happening. And it just may have said the video, had all these same feelings, but only put it on social media to put it out there, right? I think people would have still maybe watched. Because however long ago you recorded this, more than likely, you've already had this conversation 1, 2, 3 months ago.
Right.
Right? So, I don't know. I guess it was their type of press tour. I don't know.
It's weird, but it's interesting.
But also, we know that's just how people be doing, too.
And I can appreciate that they are still working together and that they're still on the show. I actually, honestly, I was agreeing with a lot of people when they were saying Lauren's better. But that was from the perspective of me assuming that Jess was there to be a journalist. Now that I see them together, I'm like, oh, Jess is there to be funny.
So that's the thing.
She's not there to be serious about nothing.
She was not, like, I don't understand why people had the assumption that she was there to actually do any type of journalism when her whole thing, her comedy, her stuff, her social media personality, her everything is comedy.
I think this is why. Because Angela Yee was... So I think, me included, people thought, oh, this is Angela Yee. Like, they're her replacement.
But
and it's like, it's not a 1-for-1.
Yeah.
And the guys don't do it either. Like, the guys aren't asking real questions. And then you have Jess over here just being funny. So when Lauren comes in and she's like, okay, well, I've researched, I'm asking real questions, you do get that sense of, yes, this is what we've been missing, this is what we're looking for. But it's like, that was never Jess' job to be, like, no, that was never a part of her job to begin with.
And we do this a lot, that because there's another person, black, female, oh, she's here to be this.
Yeah.
It would be just, if it was another dude coming on there, we wouldn't have had, like, oh, they change it.
They're changing it up.
They're changing it up and they're changing the thing. Yeah. So... we do this too. I never would. When I was watching, I was like, because of the situation with Angela Yee and being a journalist, celebrities, a lot of times, most celebrities don't go onto the Breakfast Club to have real conversation. Mm-hmm. They want to go over there to Kiki, cackle a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's just like going to Wendy. Mm-hmm. Nobody's really, like, you're going to put put your face out there to something that's big and market around. I don't think it was really meant for, I don't think that they wanted to have it the way it was with Angela, especially because it worked at that time with Angela Yee because they weren't as big. Right. So they were really only in New York unless you knew about them. Mm-hmm. And you kind of logged in, and they were only on, like YouTube. Mm-hmm. But then when they got on TikTok, they were, more people were able to see them and stuff like that. People weren't going, like, people don't go there for the real stuff. Yeah. Now, because you have the four of them and you have more of a contrast, you do need a female personality of comedy. And then having, like, somebody asking the real questions, have done the research. The problem with the situation is, when you have people, when you've done all this research and you're trying to ask questions and people in the background, all the other two
laughing and joking,
that means that whatever you've done,
it's taking the value out of it. Yeah.
Which would happen with Angela Yee.
Yeah.
So I think that they weren't trying to, they just wanted, this is what it's going to be now. Comedy. Now when she came on, everyone's like, oh, we like her. Everybody likes somebody until they don't.
And now, from an executive producing standpoint, you have a problem. Your audience is saying they like this. You were trying to go in a different direction, and you still have this girl that you hired. So now you're trying to figure out how can we appease the audience, and keep her. It's like now you have to figure it all out, which I guess is what what she was saying. We needed to figure it out, and we never did that. It was just, okay, she's here now. Okay, I'm back. So what the hell is she doing? Right.
And the thing is, and I think because she was the program executive person, and so I think with Jess, they may have been trying to use her as a little bit of, like, cause she sometimes, like, she would be talking and she's like, nah, I'm not playing, like trying to be serious about stuff, and they want to play. Mm-hmm. And so being able to switch it on and off worked in her favor. Mm-hmm. When you have somebody who is more of the journalist style, you're comparing something that she usually does not do to something that someone went to school for. Yes. She was at TMZ. Mm-hmm. Like, this is her specialty of looking stuff up. Just see what people be talking about on the socials. Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know.
I just thought that was interesting. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really mean to go off on that tangent, but I wanted to hear your thoughts on that. Yeah. So it's April.
Is it?
It is. And so, okay, this is a question that I had.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know how, okay, but I'm asking you because I feel like, so I know you told me Justin used to like to do practical jokes and all of that stuff. Yes. But also, You be scared of stuff.
Yeah.
So, do you think pranks are funny or just obnoxious?
It depends on what I got going on.
Okay.
If I'm like trying to get stuff done, no, I'm not. It's not time to laugh. I'm trying to get this shit done.
Yeah.
If it's time for play and I'm not tired and we just standing for and the thing is, it's by the minute with me.
I was gonna say, because when is that ever?
It's really by the minute, because the kids would do something. I'm like, why are you playing? And then I'll do something like 2 minutes later, and they be like, what are you doing? I'm like, you can't play. We just tried. I be like, you right.
So it really is based on your mood.
It really do.
And how would people know that? Like, how would they?
They don't.
So basically, only people that can prank you is people that are extremely close to you, and they can kind of know.
Yeah, like if I'm out and about, there's nothing really going on,
Mm-hmm.
so a prank wouldn't bother me. My kids try to prank me at the inopportune time, and I'm not in the mood.
When is the opportune time?
If I'm like, if I've already started playing,
Okay.
Now you know I'm in a playful mood.
But sometimes pranks take time to like build up, to work up. You got to do some planning.
My thing is, talking to me will tell you like what kind of mood I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm like, this day and this, that, and the fourth, blah, blah, they be like, today ain't the prank day. But if I'm like, oh, it's so nice outside, we should do this. They can fill out my mood. You just have to, like, you can plan out a prank, but to execute it is you have to do it at the right time. Because the execution, you're gonna get in trouble, or it's gonna be funny. I don't know. And I don't like to be scared.
I know.
But I be scaring the shit out of these kids. It's so funny to me.
Wait, it's funny to you to scare them, but you don't want to be scared.
I don't like it. I don't like the feeling of anxiety of the unknown. John, and then it's so funny because Josh will be looking at me right in my face, and I'm like, ugh. He be like, like, the hell are you? You see me?
He wasn't expecting you to do that.
Stay on guard. That's what I do. I stay so on guard.
Now, if he do it back to you, you gonna have a heart attack.
Why would you do something like that? my heart is in my damn toes. And then it takes me forever to recover. Now I don't want to get out the bed. I'm staying at the damn door. I can't take it.
So the first was April Fool's Day. That's why I was asking that question. But then I also saw I saw this comment on the internet that said, we should skip it this year because there is no prank that can top our reality.
Hello? It ain't nothing.
Ain't nothing funny.
Ain't nothing, like there's nothing funny. There is nothing funny happening.
Ain't nothing funny.
I was so annoyed, and this is just a little bit off topic, but my dad took us to the Metro when we went out to Travelers Show. We took the Metro down because it was at the convention center in DC.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about how, like, on YouTube, people being like, well, where's Kamala? Why isn't she saying anything? The fuck are you talking about?
Right.
Where should she be? And then one guy was like, don't come out in 2028. What should she be saying?
Right.
I think people's brains are mush. You know, remember the commercial that said,
it's like, you still want me to campaign even though y'all didn't vote for me?
Y'all don't want me to campaign. You want me to go out here and tell you how to fix it.
Okay.
If you did what you were supposed to be doing, like, what you want me to do? Go to the border? He trying to take my security clearance.
Mm-hmm.
He taking away the damn Secret Service for the people's key. Like, what are you talking about? It's so funny how they're like, where are the black people? And we out here learning line dances and going
Absolutely.
to the trail.
Absolutely.
I don't have time. Do it yourself. You did it to yourself. Do it yourself. Anyway, but it's nothing to play. Like, there's nothing to play. The Beatles are back.
Ain't nothing funny.
It's nothing funny out here. Oh, he trying to get green. We need Greenland. For what? Leave the people alone.
That's the least of our worries.
Oh, until people in South Africa start treating the other people better, I'm gonna hold funds for that. Treat the people better here, sir. He stay in somebody else. why? That's my biggest question. Why do the Caucasians got to stay in somebody's business so bad?
They think because they think they're right. They think they are like, yes, I'm gonna come in here and fix your problem.
But it's even with that, you could be just having dinner and they stare like, why are you in my business? What is it about my business that is so attracted to you? Because I see y'all doing something, I just keep on going by my dad. It's nothing. What do I care?
And the thing is, like, they don't even realize it. Like, sometimes I think about if we were to start to treat them the way that they treat us, I don't even think they would notice. Like, if we did that, like, if we were at a park and we walked up on them, what are you doing? Are you fishing? Do you have a permit? If we started doing, they would really be like, yeah, my dad owns this part. And they would be, like, they wouldn't even register, like, this, why, you, like, this person doesn't need to be in your business.
Ugh.
They wouldn't even register it.
Oh, just mind your business. But anyway, so yeah, it's nothing funny happening.
I agree. Ain't shit funny. So the last thing I wanted to discuss is, and I mentioned this before to you because you was like you was doing a whole bunch and you need to rest. And so I don't know if you saw I sent it to you. I don't know if you saw the Instagram video where the guy was talking about the difference between rest and recovery. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm curious, like, what for you would you say there's a difference between rest and recovery, in the sense that, according to what he says, in order to recover, there needs to be some action that discharges the stress, mm-hmm. or something that you do to regulate your nervous system, mm-hmm. other than like taking a nap.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So for me, I can have laid around and done nothing all day. If I'm still working up here, ain't nobody resting. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But when it be like, I don't have to think about anything and I have not slept all day, I feel like a new person.
Okay.
So if I have an overload on my brain, that's it.
But how do you, so if your brain is overloaded, how do you get to a space where your brain is not overloaded? Like, do you actually have to process through all those thoughts, or like, how do you get to a space where, like, okay, I've closed some tabs.
I have to do the tabs. Everything has to be done. Like, if everything is done, then there's nothing for me to think about. So, like, for example, when we cook dinner, now that we're cooking dinner on Sundays, if we'll put everything in the containers, have it already labeled, so all you have to do is grab and go. In my mind, I'm not thinking about like, oh, I gotta be up at this time to make my lunch, to this, that, and the fourth, blah, blah, blah. When I've done all of the things, it's the only time that I have, like, when it's, you know, like I've had Jonathan stuff hung up for athletics and for, like, you know, every day. There's no more, like, the science projects, all of the stuff is done. I'm done with Jayla's party. So there's nothing, like, heavy for me to think about.
I get that.
So
I feel like I'm a verbal processor. Mm-hmm. So I think one of the things for me is just talking it out. Mm-hmm, and I know that, but sometimes when I'm really stressed, it's so weird. Sometimes when I'm really stressed, like, I don't want to talk to anybody. Mm-hmm. But even though I know that if I do talk to somebody, just saying it and kind of like getting all the thoughts out would make me feel better. Mm-hmm. But it's weird because I feel like some people may get this. When you're in that space, it's like, I just don't even want to, like, be bothered. But then it's like, after you talked about it, you're like, actually, I feel better now that I talked about it.
Because in the midst of it, it's like being in an airplane, right? To me, it's like being in the airplane, you're descending and your ears are in the midst of popping, and you know, like, if somebody's telling you, like, oh, all you gotta do is do such and such, I already know that. Just give me a minute to understand where I'm at, understand what's going on, and then I'm gonna ask you for some gum. You know what I mean? Or then I'm gonna yawn, or then I'm gonna do the things, or then I'm gonna go talk to somebody. But I think you have to kind of deal with where you are, and then because you can start talking but not realizing where you are, so then you feel like you're talking in circles, and then that defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
But if you can at least say, okay, well, this is the way I'm at, but now I need to regurgitate it so that I can clear it.
Yeah.
I think that'd be the thing.
I did also too start doing like a I've always journaled, but I did start doing like a it's not really a video diary, but it's like a voice note diary where I will just sometimes just start recording, like just talk, record it, save it, listen to it later, or not listen to it later. Because sometimes when I listen back to my old voice recordings, I be getting irritated with myself, which is crazy. But I do. I literally be like, girl, the stuff you talking about is not even important. Like, and I be on the verge of deleting it, but I'm like, no, don't delete it, because maybe at some point
you'll see the progress in which you're going.
Yeah. But I be so annoyed.
Speaking of annoyed,
we can't talk about that yet.
Ugh.
We almost done.
Okay.
I actually think that's it, unless you got anything else.
No, I think I'm good. I don't think anything else has really been popping. Once we don't have nothing going on, my life be lame.
What you mean?
It's not lame like that, but it's nothing like moving and shaking. Like, it's just really family stuff.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's life.
It's not shaking me. I ain't got no shake and bake. I just got chicken.
All right, let me tell y'all this before we get out of here. This was so embarrassing, but not really. So y'all know I went to this barbecue, right? So I see ex-coworker of mine, homeboy. Last time I hung out with him, it was me and my husband, him and his wife. We were at a happy hour. And we just had such a good time talking with them. His wife is like me, more outgoing. Mm-hmm. He's cool too, but he's not as outgoing. Mm-hmm. So towards the end of the barbecue, he shows up and I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? That's my peoples.
Right.
So he shows up, he got a case of beer in his hand, and I'm like, you know, what's up? He like, what's up? And then we chit-chatting a little bit, and I'm like, where your wife? Where my girl? Child, this man.
Going through a divorce.
Yes. And I felt so bad because I guess apparently other people knew, but I hadn't talked to them in a while. Mm-hmm. Not only is he going through a divorce, he was like, yeah, I'm late because I was moving out today. I was so embarrassed.
But you ain't talked to nobody.
And the guy that was hosting it, he knew, so he tried to save me. He was like, yeah, man, you doing all right? You ain't hurt yourself, did you? You know what I'm saying? He tried to, I felt so bad, because I could be sometimes. I was like, where am I, girl? I listen, it's been a minute. I need to talk to her. He like,
ain't no talking to her through me.
No.
She ain't nobody, girl. Fuck it.
I know. I felt so bad. I was like, oh, this is so awkward.
You've been having a lot of awkward interactions.
I do, but it's okay. So, I mean, that comes with the territory.
I did tell Devon about you being at the trampoline park.
Oh,
I said
he ain't see the clip. He need to watch the podcast. Tell him you are not allowed to relate any more stories that we talk about on the podcast. He just need to watch it.
We're trying to do something for Joshua. I said I need you to. I promise you. I don't know if I can help you because I'm gonna tell you, if you drag me in there, it's over that night. Don't call me. Don't text nothing. Figure out a visitation situation because it's done. I don't do no ball pits anyway. LaToya, I promise you, I will be.
Has he ever been? Has Davon ever been?
No.
I was telling Judah about it. He was like, yeah, I don't know why you did. He was like, I wouldn't even, he was like, as soon as I saw that it was like not a solid ground. He was like, I wouldn't have got in there. I'm like, but I had to get the baby.
And he gonna be all right. Wait, excuse me, one of y'all people that work here, get your butt in this damn pit. Get this baby out of here. That's
That's what I should have done.
You will be here to the end of the night. You need a nap. You need a blanket because it's plenty of pillows. Because your girl ain't getting in it.
That's what I should have done.
Girl, you are brave. You a brave woman. Oh look, so then the other day, I will say this last thing. I go to my parents' house, right? Joshua there playing with the balloon. He just having a time. Outside, I'm like, he in the grass with us. It's about to pop. So my dad picks it up. As soon as he picks it up, it pops. He goes, pop the balloon. I said, who popped the balloon? Him. I said, your mama said, that's what you at daycare learning how to be a snitch? What's going on? Joshua was like,
he couldn't wait to tell it.
He was telling it. Him. I said, who? Him. He was strong too.
That's funny. Have y'all decided what y'all gonna do for his birthday?
I think we're gonna go to like this little. He wants to go all the way out Annapolis. In Arundel Mills.
Mm-hmm.
But like one of these little kid jump around, like the ones that have like the climbing and not the trampoline because he don't really like the jumping thing, but the kids thing.
Has he been to Hyper Kids?
I think it's that one.
They have one in Crofton and they have one in Springfield. So he don't have to go to Arundel Mills.
I know.
And the Crofton and Springfield, it's like they're nice. It's not like ghetto.
He went to a party there.
Okay. Well.
And with that being said,
this is another great episode.
Thanks for catching up with us.
Guys, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification button, tell a friend to tell a friend.
Drop down in them comments.
And we'll drink to that.